most of you know me. I'm Mark Risby. I'm the MD here at Boxer. If you don't know us, we've been here since 1990, but working with Telestream, well, since they were founded pretty much. So well over 20 years. I think we're one of the oldest partners that Telestream have. So we've been here on the journey from Flip Factory all the way through to where we are with Vantage now. So, great to meet you. And I'm going to introduce here, we have, first of all, John Thompson from Telestream, who's one of the technical product managers looking after, or has been looking after, the QC products, among other things. So, hi, John.
Hello, everyone.
And also, Ravi MacArthur is going to be taking over some of those functions actually from John soon. So we didn't want to leave him out and make an opportunity to introduce himself as well.
Hi, I'm Ravi. Look forward to working with many of you over the coming weeks and months.
Wonderful, thank you. And finally, I don't know what title that you're using, but perhaps I can also introduce Blake, and perhaps you can also say hi.
Hi, and my title is Vice President of Product Management, and QC is one of the product portfolio lines that rolls up through me. But nice to meet all of you. Thanks for joining.
That's brilliant. Thank you all. So, why are we here? Telestream, have been the sort of leaders in file-based workflows for a long time now, and during that period, they've ended up pretty much owning most of the IP for most of the decent file-based QC that there is out there. I mean, it started off, with Digimetrics Aurora, the Tech Cerify product, the Vidchecker product, and now moving into Qualify as part of the Telestream product line. And part of that has meant that, a lot of people here have come to Telestream through different routes. You may have been Telestream using these products. You may have come in being an original, Tech Cerify user or a Digimetrics Aurora user and into the Telestream family at some point. But it just means that there are lots of products in different states of development and in different places. But we have a lot of users out there and very significant users too. And what we wanted to do here was, first of all, I guess bring a little bit of the knowledge together and share where Telestream are going in terms of direction for the existing products and for the short to mid-term roadmap on the other products. And also perhaps dispel a few rumors that have been going around. We've just had IBC, and which meant we spent a lot of time at the beach bar listening to people, and we've heard quite a few things that just frankly weren't true. And we wanted to, I guess, set the record straight and make sure everybody knows and everyone's on the same page to what Telestream's plans are. And I'm not going to speak much. I'm going to hand over pretty much straight to John. But John, I want to start by just asking, a blunt question, because this is the thing that I probably heard the most. Is there any truth to the rumor that Telestream are discontinuing Vidchecker?
I can emphatically say that there is not truth to that statement. We have no plans to end of life any of our file QC products, at least for the next few years. So I'm going to talk about this in more detail during the presentation, but I want to thank you for opening up the presentation with that, because I think that is why at least the majority of us are here, or the biggest concern that the majority of us here have. So want to quash that right out of the gate.
Brilliant, thank you for that. I thought that might be the easiest way of dealing with things. But I mean, Vidchecker.
And now presentation over, right?
Yeah, thank you everybody. It's been great to see you. But I think Vidchecker particularly has got a special place in the UK's heart. A lot of us here were users from the DPP at the earliest stages of DPP, when it was one of the first products to sort of work with the specific UK requirements of, QC for those deliveries. So, it is very important to a lot of workflows. So excellent. Thank you for that. So in that case, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to hand over to John to take us through the rest of it.
Thank you, Mark. Let me get my screen up real quick. Hello, everyone. I'm John. I'm one of the technical product managers here at Telestream. And for the past 6 months or so, I've been in charge of the file QC products, as well as our video playback products, which include Switch, Glim, and Stanza. But then moving forward, in the interim between when this was scheduled and today, we actually have a Ravi who will be handling the file QC stuff going forward. But let's get on to the show. And I apologize for the American order of the dates here, but after all, I mean, I am American. So let's first talk about on-prem file QC, Aurora, and Vidchecker. So as Mark prompted me initially, We have no plans to end of life either Aurora or Vidchecker. We're committed to supporting both of these products for the foreseeable future, midterm, long term, everything. We want to make sure that all of our customers are using the specifically Telestream based file QC solution that they are used to, that they're most comfortable with, and that fits their use cases most aptly. And so we know that a lot of you are either using one of these two platforms. We don't want you to think that you won't be covered by these solutions in the coming years. So I want to make that very, very clear. We're going to continue to support it, no end of life. However, based on communicated demand from our users, broadly speaking, we've made the decision to focus our current development efforts in the shorter term to midterm on some other areas of our file QC space, which I will get into details of later on in this presentation. And so we will continue to support major issues as they come up for both Aurora and Vidchecker, and we make sure that they are working and properly deployed in your environments. However, there will not be a ton of new features in the short term. There's one caveat to that, and that is actually because next week, a week from today, we are having the 8.2.3 release of Vidchecker. And so that, well, I think a lot of people here are going to be really excited to hear that will have Harding PSE support. I know it's something that a lot of people have been asking for since I started as the technical product manager for these products. I think about 80% of the feature requests across the entire file QC space have been specifically for Harding PSE support in Vidchecker. So now we have it in Aurora, we have it in Qualify, and we have it in Vidchecker. And there are a few other bug fixes and improvements in that release as well. You get more details in the release notes that will be coming out next week. So hopefully that's good news to everyone. Hopefully people are excited about this new feature. And down the line, there also will be an 8.3.0 release. We don't have an exact date for this TBD. The date is TBD, but that will also support the most up-to-date SDK. I think it's out or it's coming out soon, the newest SDK from Cambridge, which supports cautious response for PSE. So it won't just be a fail or pass. There'll be a middle ground where you can add some logic to, to do what you will with your content, depending on the response from the test, and also support for the 1702.3 specification. And so I just want to reiterate, we're not end-of-lifing any of our products, especially not Aurora or Vidchecker. I hope this alleviates some concerns that some of you may have had, and maybe there's some questions that you have around this, but we can either answer them now or there'll be plenty of time after this presentation to get more in the weeds on that front. And so from there, I want to talk about Qualify, which for those of you who may not know, Qualify is our cloud-based file QC tool at Telestream, at least in its current deployment. And we have a lot of exciting current and new developments going on in this application. And so up until now, Qualify has been entirely cloud-based. And one of the efforts we've just completed within the past couple months is deploying Qualify on AWS Marketplace. And so what this means is you can just go, and if you have a AWS account and a credit card, that's all you need to do to buy Qualify. You don't need to have any formal transactional engagement with Telestream itself. And just makes the onboarding process that much more straightforward. And so it also allows you to easily test and trial the product before you want to commit to it. You can have a pay-as-you-go license so that you only are paying for exactly what you use. And you can also, one of the big benefits is that you can use Qualify to burn down your AWS commitments. So if you have a large commit on AWS, you can burn it down pretty effectively on Qualify. It can be pretty data intensive sometimes. So we think that is a big plus for our users who are using Qualify in the cloud. Secondly, we want to make sure, because we've decided in the short term to commit our development resources towards Qualify, we want to make sure that we're constantly demonstrating value and giving customers new value for this product. And so we're having monthly releases for Qualify. And that each monthly release, there'll be broader test coverage. There'll be new features, bug fixes, just to make sure that this product is as in ship shape as possible, and we're addressing customer concerns as they come up. And Thirdly, so these last two bullets, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail in the subsequent slides, but we have a new feature coming out in November, which is Qualify for Vantage. And this is Qualify that is executed through the Vantage environment. And so this will allow customers to run Qualify jobs in on-prem through Vantage or in the cloud through Vantage, depending on what your Vantage environment is. And so because we've had customer demands for a complete file QC tool within Vantage, we're actually, in conjunction with this Qualify for Vantage project, we are working on making sure that all of the tests provided across either Aurora, Vidchecker, and Qualify are within this Qualify for Vantage product. So no matter what test you want to run, if Telestream offers it across any of its solutions, you will be able to execute that same test in the Qualify for Vantage. And so this, excuse me, that is something that we won't have complete test coverage parity by when the product is released in November, but it's something we're working towards by the end of the year. So not too far after. Also, last bit, we have next gen Qualify. And so this is the Qualify for the new Telestream cloud platform that some of you may or may not be familiar with. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail on that in a couple of slides. But to dive a little bit deeper on Qualify for Vantage, and so, as I said, this is a tool that will be an application that will allow customers to execute qualified jobs within their Vantage environment. However, so this is obviously very helpful if you currently have a Vantage installation. However, we are also offering licenses if you don't have a Vantage installation where you can just buy this Qualify application for Vantage without any of the other associated actions or features within Vantage itself. And so with this, we have a flexible implementation where you can run jobs either on-prem or in the cloud, depending on what type of Vantage environment you operate in. We'll have strict version control. So you can, if you have an environment set up with a specific engine version of Qualify, it will be very easy to maintain that engine version. Or if you want to update to the latest engine version, we'll make sure that it's as straightforward as possible to update. We have standardized templates that come with this product as well. And so that it takes a little bit of the burden off of building out some specific templates that you may want. And so you have some templates that you can execute right out of the gate. And this ensures that depending on what you're looking for, all of the tests, all of the media that you are testing against is compliant up to the specific standards, and you don't have to worry about misconfiguring a template or anything like that. And lastly, we have seamless workflows. So this Qualify execution can be built into more expansive transcoding workflows or workflows in general, as you can see an example of in the bottom right. And so this allows customers to implement some business logic on automating when tests are run and what to do with the content based on the qualified report that is generated. So if you have a file, you run it through Qualify in Vantage, and then there's no issues found, you can do a specific action to it. You can make sure it continues on the transcode. Or you can, if you find specific issues, you can make sure that it gets delivered to the correct location person to make sure that all of the issues associated with the file are quickly addressed, and you can get back to your workflow as quickly and seamlessly as possible. Yeah, we think this is a very exciting new tool, and it will be once again part of the next Vantage release, which is coming in November. And next we have next gen Qualify. And so, as I said, this is the latest version of Qualify that we're building. We did a complete redesign for this because we know to improve the UI and UX for the users. We know that sometimes creating templates within our file QC tools, whether that's Qualify, Aurora, or Vidchecker, can be a little bit cumbersome. And so we wanted to make that process as straightforward and seamless as possible, as well as job execution and management of templates and jobs. So we believe that you can see a little teaser of what the designs look like in the bottom right here. But we believe that the UI will be a great improvement, especially for more of the downstream customers who want to quickly and easily run jobs and create templates. And of course, being a part of this new cloud platform, there's just going to be several direct integrations with the other products on said platform. And This currently include we have our current beta for Glim on this platform, which is our it's our Proculus playback tool for those who are not familiar. And early next year, we will also have Vantage and Live Capture as a part of this platform, and then after that, we will include Stanza in this platform as well. And so we're envisioning this platform to be a full QC suite in the cloud, and we're going to build out more, expand our test coverage for caption-based issues specifically, so that you can run automated tests on visual, metadata, audio, or caption-based artifacts in Qualify, and then once that Qualify report is generated, you can very easily validate these reports and create custom reports in Glim or Stanza to make sure that all the issues that were raised are present, are in the correct spot that Qualify detected, and to make sure that people can address and fix these issues as quickly as possible, so that there's as little friction as possible when you're going through your QC workflows. And to hone in a little bit more on the Glim integration, so this is something we have designs for today. We're envisioning a more seamless end-to-end QC solution, as I just described. So if you run a job in Qualify with a click of a button, you can open up all of the flags that were generated from the Qualify report within the Glim environment and easily play them back using our Proculus playback solution, so that it doesn't matter if you're in your house with with your normal Wi-Fi, or if you're in a studio environment with a robust infrastructure environment. Glim will let you play back any of this content from anywhere and validate and to make sure that there's no hiccups in your QC workflows. And then lastly, we will have templates and report schemas that are publicly available. And so this is born out of a customer request, and we believe it really helps with distribution and ingest relationships between partners and things like content houses. And so the idea here is that if you have partners you're working with consistently, and you will have very specific content standards, content compliance standards that you want the content they're sending to you to abide by, that you can send them the specific qualified reports to make sure, qualified templates to make sure that all of the media that you're receiving is compliant up to your standards. So there's no hiccups on your end after you've initially ingested this content or received this content, and you can just keep going with whatever workflows you need to do with said content. And that is the current and future state of file QC here at Telestream. That's it in a nutshell. I'm now I'd like to open the floor to some questions if possible.
If I can chime in just quickly, John, on just drilling a little deeper on the last slide there, you had the qualified next gen. So John talked a little bit about the different product integrations that we envision as part of the long-term plan for Qualify. We think it will work very well with Glim for actually playing back the content with your Qualify reports right there. And then we also think that it's going to work really well with Stanza. But the idea here is that we want this to be a full-fledged QC suite where you have automated QC, you have manual QC, you have capture manipulation, you have a way to find files to run QC against with some asset management capabilities, and you have correction capabilities with Vantage. This is, for me, the dream state of how the Telestream product portfolio can work better together. John mentioned this as a cloud platform. Most of those capabilities will be available sometime next year in this platform. But the year following, 2026, the plan is to package all of these capabilities into a container and allow you to actually install it on-prem and run it in a single tenant environment locally. The reason for that is we know a lot of folks don't have much use for a platform that only interfaces with cloud storage. And we want to make sure that if your content's on-prem and your workflows are on-prem, the capabilities we're building here will eventually be available to you as well.
So I've been checking on the questions here. There have been a few questions that have been asked that have been, I think, picked up as we've gone along, or literally answered with the presentation. If there are any other questions, please take a moment to park them in the Q&A window you've got there. We'll hang on just for a couple of minutes here and see if there's anything else that anyone has to say. But otherwise, we're really encouraged. We've got a lot of users out there in the UK. We have a very advanced group of customers. The fact that Telestream are still I think the only people that can offer a solution that's on-prem, hybrid, and cloud, and genuinely works across all three is amazing. And there's definitely a commitment to bring a lot of the cloud functionality back to on-prem because it just represents so many of us. Another question here. Another couple of questions actually. Using Amazon Marketplace, if you sign up for Qualify as pay-as-you-go, can you change your subscription in the 12-month term to then buy minutes at a cheaper rate?
I don't know the answer to that. My gut reaction is that if you're on a pay-go subscription and you're trying to retroactively get the lower rate for your minute volume by changing your 12-month subscription, it would only apply to the minutes after you do that upgrade. But we can double check on that for you.
Okay, that's great. Richard, we'll come back to you there. And Gary, how much R&D has been done on improvements to VTR originated baseband artifacts like DCT channel condition errors and analog artifacts like component head clogs? In our sector, cloud would be a good commercial option due to extremely high volumes that are imminent, but it needs to be highly accurate.
It's a good question. So at this time with our resources, we're more focused on putting out new features as opposed to doing some intense R&D. However, that's not to say that this is not something that we are open to exploring down the line in the future. And so actually I'd be interested in getting a little bit more detail about your specific needs and use cases in a offline or after this presentation.
No problem. We know we can hook Gary up with you there, John. I mean, certainly, I know we have a few people that are doing lots and lots of archive ingest now from tape, and it definitely is a key area. So thanks, Gary. We'll hook you up and get some more information.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I don't see that there are any more questions hanging around there. If there are any more, I think most of you know how to get hold of us. I am Mark, M-A-R-C, @boxer.co.uk. Please feel free to drop me a line. If you haven't hooked up with us, check us out as Boxer on LinkedIn. And I'm Mark Risby on LinkedIn as well. Please find us. We put a lot of information out there in terms of new products, features, and what's going on in events too. So we'd really look forward to seeing you at our next event. So in that case, reminds me to say thank you to John, Blake, and Ravi. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for helping us out. Put a few rumors to bed and paint the picture of where we're going in the QC landscape coming forward. So I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thank you everyone for the time. Glad we can quash any rumors directly here.
Awesome. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers, everyone.